Okay. Yesterday we got up to Chav Testament base 29b.
Yeah, in case. In case.
In the summer, say Morid Hatol, correct? You say Morid Hatol in the summer, right, Mike Mashiach? You say Morid Hatol? Now, in the winter, right, we start, after Pesach, we start saying, really not, the 8th day, Shmini Atzeret, on the 8th day of Pesach, so 8th day of Sukkot, we start saying, Mashiach Baruch Morid HaGeshem. Is that correct? Now, what happens if you forgot to say Mashiach Baruch Morid HaGeshem? You said what you usually say, Morid Hatol. So technically, you do not need to repeat Amidah, because since you said Morid Hatol, even though you weren't supposed to say Morid Hatol, you were supposed to say Mashiach Baruch Morid HaGeshem, you don't have to repeat Amidah because you said a praise of Hashem, and therefore you don't have to repeat Amidah in the winter if you did not say Mashiach Baruch and you said Morid Hatol. However, if you went ahead and you were supposed to say Baruch Aleinu, and you did not say Baruch Aleinu and you said Bocheinu, then you have to repeat, and you only put yourself after the end of the whole Amidah, you have to repeat the Amidah. Why? Because that is a request. You are asking for something, and you miss out asking for something you need to ask for. So there's a difference between asking for something and there's something that you're praising Hashem. A praise, if you miss the praise and you said a different praise, you'll be all right. You don't have to repeat that Amidah. But if you said, but when you're asking for something and you missed and you did not ask what you needed to ask for, you're gonna repeat the Amidah over again. If you catch yourself, let's say if you catch yourself before you said Shema Kaleinu, you can insert same Talam Matan Bracha in the middle of Shema Kaleinu. Insert it right in the middle over there. What do you say? But what we're gonna say for same Talam Matan Bracha, if you don't catch yourself until you finish the Amidah, you gotta start all again. But when it comes to Mashiach Baruch Morid HaGeshem, then you do not have to start the Amidah again, as long as you mention Tal. But what about? But we're going to see, there's going to be a difference in Pesach. We're going to stop saying Mashiach Baruch Morid HaGeshem, and since it's not the right time to say Mashiach Baruch Morid HaGeshem, if after Pesach you're supposed to say Morid Hatol, correct? You make a mistake and you say Mashiach Baruch Morid HaGeshem, since it's not the right time to say it, because it's not the time that rain is, we want rain, so therefore you would have to repeat the Amidah. If you said Mashiach Baruch Morid HaGeshem after Pesach. Okay, we're now on Chav Testament base. Morris, you have a Chav Testament base 29b. Now the Gemara is talking about, what about if a guy forgot Yalav Yavo? We just had Rosh Chodesh. Sorry, Ari. We just had, and you sent to the group that we're on? We just had Rosh Chodesh. We had Friday and Shabbat was Rosh Chodesh. What happens if a guy forgot Yalav Yavo on Rosh Chodesh? So what do you do? This is the question at our Gemara. We have maybe there's that mic in the waiting room. Let's see who's in the waiting room. What happens if you get Yalav Yavo? That's what our Gemara is going to discuss today. On the top of the page. Oh, Yaron!
Bye, good morning. Rabbi, this is on the scoot of Ariel. He just sent me a text. He said, join the class. We start already.
See that? Ariel gets credit.
Because Shem Tov is here.
Michael Mashiach is here.
Michael Mashiach.
See, Ariel, by the way, Ariel just fulfilled the mitzvah. We spoke about at the class, everybody is responsible for each other. Ariel is responsible for Yaron, and Yaron is responsible for Ariel.
For Mashiach.
Yes, for Michael Mashiach. And therefore, everybody's job is not only to encourage themselves to do good things, to encourage their friends to do good things, to encourage their wives to do good things, their children to do good things, your responsibilities. That's your responsibility you have to remember you have. So we say, Omer of Tanchum, Ariel, Yaron, we're on Testament base, 29b. We should have the Beit HaMikdash back, and we should have the Korbanot, the special Korbanot of Rosh Chodesh back. It's live now. Yaron, you hear Ariel? Yaron,
No,
Yaron.
no, I can hear you well, Rabbi. Now I see you.
Talk a little louder, maybe. Okay, Yaron, you able to hear us now a little better or not?
Yes, Rabbi, yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Ariel, for all this technical help. We greatly appreciate it. So the Gemara says, if a person made a mistake, he did not mention Rosh Chodesh in the Avodah, Choser la'avodah. You go back to the bracha of Ritzei. You got it? You got it, Morris? You said Ritzei Hashem Lakeinu, and then you said Hashem Sion. You said Modim Anachnu Lach. And then you say, oh, I forgot to say Yalav Yavo. So you go back to Ritzei. Mike, clear? You go back to Ritzei. And what happened is, now, if you remember, now, you didn't mention Rosh Chodesh. If you didn't remember Avodah, you remember Avodah, you go back to Avodah. Now, B'sim Shalom, you caught yourself not in the bracha of Modim, you realized it a little later in the game, in Sim Shalom. You were in the middle of Sim Shalom, I didn't say Yalav Yavo, you still go back to Ritzei. Is that good or not? You go back to Ritzei, because you're still in the middle of praying. You didn't finish praying yet. You're still in the middle of, I'm still in the middle of the Midah. And hear what happened, Ariel. I didn't say, I forgot Yalav Yavo in Ritzei. I caught myself in the middle of Modim, I go back to Ritzei. I go back, Ritzei, Hashem Elokeinu, and I go from Ritzei, I go straight again. I'm up to Sim Shalom. I'm in Sim Shalom, Tov Rochem Ches Rach. I didn't say Yalav Yavo. What do? Go back to where? Ritzei. So Ritzei, I go back, start Ritzei, and I go straight, and I say Yalav Yavo in that. But what happened if I finished the whole Amidah? I finished davening, I finished praying. And then I remembered that I did not say Yalaviyavo. Yeah, the case, Morris? So what do? Start from the beginning. You hear what Mike Mashiach said? He's right. We got a winner. Ding, ding, ding. Jose LaRoche. You got to go back to the beginning of the Amidah. Now the Gemara is going to clarify this statement. Originally, where was Shemona Esrei over when the Anshe Knesset Gdola, the Yitzur, the 18 brachot? At what point is the Amidah over originally? When you say Baruch Atah Hashem, Hamavarech es Amo Yisrael Bashalom. That technically would have been the old ending of the Amidah. But now we have a new ending. You know why? Because we say things after that. What do we say after that? Elokai Nitzar. Do we say Elokai Nitzar, Mike? Do we say Elokai Nitzar? What do you say after Baruch Atah Bashalom? What do you say right after that? You say, I have a siddur. It says, Yila Rasalim Refi Begyon Yila Fnecha. Say Elokai Nitzar. That's what you say after Baruch Atah Bashalom? So what you've done is we extend the Amidah. The Amidah is not totally over because we extend it, right, Morris, by saying other tefillot. We have other tefillot, as we saw earlier in the Gemara, that there were different rabbis that added, right, Ariel, you remember we had different rabbis added different things at the end of the Amidah, right? One rabbi said, after he finished the Amidah, he said this personal prayer. Each rabbi said a personal prayer based on their particular need, right? Someone was a rabbi who had students, so he spoke about students. Different rabbis spoke about different things. And then they decided that this became the more standard post-tefillah, that addition to the tefillah, Elokai Nitzar L'shon Emirah. That became, so now if I'm still saying Elokai Nitzar, so it's not called that the Amidah is over. Even though technically the brachot of the Amidah are over, because I said Baruch Atah Hashem, Hamavarech es Amo Yisrael Bashalom. So I finished all the brachot. There's no more brachot coming, right? But I still, because I'm extending the Amidah, why am I extending it? I don't take 3 steps back yet. I'm extending it because I'm reciting Elokai Nitzar, right? Is that correct? So therefore, it's still considered, I'm still in the middle of the Amidah. And now, if I catch myself in the middle of a kind of tzar, like if I catch myself, I go back to Ritzeh. Is that correct? So that's what the Gemara is going to discuss. Are you a person that says things after Mike Dahan is coming on? Are you a person that says a kind of tzar? Are you a person that says extra things? Mike, are you on? Mike,
Good morning, Rabbi.
Mike, Ariel wants me to tell you that Michael Mashiach is here.
Amazing, Rabbi. Good morning. Sorry, we just finished prayer here.
No problem. We just finished prayer. So good. So no problem. We're happy that you're here. We believe, Mike, better late than never. That's what we believe. We don't believe better never than late. We believe it's better late
Thank
than
you,
never.
Rabbi.
Right? Okay. A lot of great things happen late in the day. Okay.
Rabbi, what did I miss?
So what you missed, we're talking about Yala V'Yavo. If a guy forgot Yala V'Yavo, and he didn't say Yala V'Yavo, and he catches himself. As long as, so far we're saying, if you caught yourself before the end of the Amidah, you go back to Ritzeh. Right? You go back to, let's say after Sim Shalom, you catch yourself, you go back to Ritzeh, Hashem Elokeinu B'amcha Yisrael V'Sviratam, you go straight and you see Yala V'Yavo from there, correct? The Gemara says, if you finish the Amidah, then you got to go back, start the Amidah again. And we're going to explain what's called if you finish. But if you finish, then you got to say it over again. Okay, let's say what's called finishing.
But Rabbi, if after Modim, you just remember that you didn't do Yali V'Yavo.
If after Modim you didn't do Yali V'Yavo, you go back to Ritzeh.
And after you start where again? You start Modim again, or you don't do Modim another time?
No, you go straight and you do it. You'll say the words Modim again. You go back to Ritzeh and you go straight from Ritzeh. Is that clear, Yaron?
So you don't do Modim twice?
No, you would do both of them. Let's say the first time around You said Modim Anachnu Lach, and you forgot Yalav Yavo, correct? And you said Modim.
Yeah.
Then you go back to Ritzay, and then you say Yalav Yavo in the middle of Ritzay. Then you say V'sechazena, you say Modim, you go straight. So you would have, therefore, it comes, you repeated Modim twice. Is that correct or not?
Yeah. I thought you do Yale Veyavo and you just go back directly where you were.
No, not so. That's if you maybe no. If you're in another bracha, let's say for instance you're in the middle of the bracha of Ata Kippur, and you were supposed to say Mashi Baruch Hamorda Geshem and Ata Kippur L'Olam Hashem B'Chaim Meitim Adrav Mashiach, and then you caught yourself towards the end of that bracha. Then you could say Mashi Baruch Hamorda Geshem, and then you continue and then continue where you're up to. But once you're in another bracha, let's say when it comes to Yalav Yavo, you got to go back to Ritzay and go straight. Is that clear?
Yes.
Now the other thing I want to say is this idea by Rosh Chodesh. And the Gemara said, if you forget Yalav Yavo and you finish your Amidah, you got to repeat the Amidah. That's only on the Shachrit and Mincha of Rosh Chodesh. But our Vit Rosh Chodesh, last Thursday night was Rosh Chodesh. Last Friday night was Rosh Chodesh. Is that correct? If you forgot the Yavo at night of Rosh Chodesh, you do not repeat the Amidah. Only by Shachrit and Mincha of Rosh Chodesh. Why? Because they did not sanctify the new month at night. They only, yes. Talk louder. Michael Yaron wants to hear you.
Then you didn't finish the Amidah. Can you go back?
True.
On that week?
Oh, but you don't need to. When it comes to Rosh Chodesh, you don't need to go back.
We didn't finish the Amidah.
Still, we don't go back. Right, you don't go back. But but Mincha, you would go back. Shachrit, you would go back to Ritzay. Correct. Now, clarifies to us what's called finishing the Amidah. Rav Papa says, "Bereder Hadamaran." That which you told me, Sayim Chosel Rosh, that when you finish the Amidah, you go back to the what to the beginning. When you move your feet back, when you took the 3 steps back. So this opinion says, as long as you did not take your 3 steps back, it's not over. That means that's not over. If you didn't take your 3 steps back, and therefore he says, you go back, if you forgot Yalav Yavo, you go back to Ritzay. He said, Ariel pointed out a very good point I want to clarify to everyone on the screen. That this going back to Ritzay and all that is only on Shachrit and Mincha of Rosh Chodesh. Arvit, once you finish the bracha, once you finish, Ma'aseh Shechina L'Tzion, you will not go back to Ritzay. Now, I'm going to started the bracha of Modim, you will not go back. That which you said, if you that's only if you bring back the 3 steps of a loa karaglav. If you didn't go back the 3 steps, you go back to Ritzay. Because this opinion says as long as you didn't go back to 3 steps, you're good. You're still in the middle of the Amidah. How do you know that? My revered teacher, Abba Mori heard it from Rab. And says the following. That which you said, if you walk 3 steps back, you go back to the beginning. That's only if you don't say any more tachnunim. That you don't say anything, any more prayers after your tefillah. Say after I move 3 steps back, I usually say special tachnunim, special prayers. Then he says it's not over. He says this opinion says that if I usually say things after moving 3 steps back, I usually have a whole tefillah, and like Rashi said, there might have been some people that might have said Elakain Tzar after you move the 3 steps back. We say Elakain Tzar before we move the 3 steps back.
But Rabbi, there's no brachot after Elokai. There's no brachot after that. So it might be the Amidah is over.
So very good. In certain sense, we say it's over. In certain sense, we say it's not over. What do I mean? If you're in the middle of Elakain Tzar, could you answer Amen Yehesh Rabbah? Yes.
Yes.
But if I'm middle of Sim Shalom, can I answer Amen Yesh Rabbah? No, I could listen.
And
I don't answer.
And that's why you can do Yale Veyavo before like the last bracha.
And but I'm saying, since I did not, since I'm saying like, but I'm still in the middle of a kind of tsar, we still consider it that it's not over yet. It's considered it's in between, so to speak, Yaron.
And so can I do Yale Veyavo?
So if you're in the middle of a kind of tsar,
no,
you go back to Ritzay. If you remember that you didn't say Yalav Yavo, we consider it like you're still in the middle of the Amidah, so right, Mike? And you go back to Ritzay. What'd you say?
What's the cutoff that you missed? What is the missing point?
Oh,
what's the missing part? Like when you go back to the step, that's it.
Oh, that's what the Gemara is going to discuss right now, Mike. So the Gemara is discussing this right now. So this usually say tachnunim. If you usually say Elakain Tzar, it's not over. And this opinion says even if you went back to 3 steps and usually it's not over. This is this opinion. You could have gone back 3 steps. Have a great day. You could go back to 3 steps, but as long as you're saying tachnunim, you still consider the middle, and therefore, if you catch yourself, you could still go back to what to say. But that's what the first opinion says. And Ikad the Amri, and the second opinion says, he says, when do we say if you did not move back 3 steps, you go back to Ritzay? That's only if you usually say special prayers after your tefillah. If you don't say tachnunim after your tefillah, chozeh lerosh, you go back to the beginning. So what does that mean? When we say yehi l'ratzon, this opinion is saying, even if you did not take the 3 steps back, you went ahead and you said, right? What do you say before you take the 3 steps back, Mike? What do you say? You say yehi l'ratzon imrefi ve'egyon li b'lefanecha. Once you said those words, yehi l'ratzon imrefi ve'egyon li b'lefanecha Hashem tzuri b'gali, it's over. Because that means you're finished, even though you didn't take the 3 steps back. That means it's over. So this opinion is a little bit more strict in that sense. Yes. Yes.
If you want to add the personal prayer in the Amidah, if you want to add at the end the personal prayer, it should be before you hear Atzanim Refi.
Exactly. Where do people put in the personal prayer? Before that second Yehi L'Ratzon. Before you take the 3 steps back, and before you say Yehi L'Ratzon, right before you take the 3 steps back, at that point, you go ahead and you say your personal prayer in any language you want. That's the spot to say the personal prayer. Is that clear?
So right before Yehi Ratzanim Refi.
Right before Yehi Ratzanim Refi.
That's the spot.
Exactly. Right before Yehi Ratzanim Refi, That's the proper place to, now I have the Yalkut Yosef. And we're here of one of the halachot of Shachrit, Mincha, Rosh Chodesh. Right? So he says the following.
Mike, you have everything.
He says, if a person,
T'es équipé, hein?
he says, if a person forgot to say Ya'aleh V'yavo on Rosh Chodesh or Chol Hamoed, and by the way,
Rabbi,
Chol
so it's
Hamoed,
after.
by the way, Chol Hamoed is coming soon, by the way. You have the Yalkut, Mike, you have the Yalkut Yosef, Kitzur Shulchan Aruch? So in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, he says, by the way, we're talking about Rosh Chodesh, by the way. We know Chol Hamoed is coming up. Right, in about 6 weeks, we have Chol Hamoed as Pesach. And if you forget Ya'aleh V'yavo and Chol Hamoed, the same laws that we said by Rosh Chodesh, very good. The same laws that we see, is that the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch or that's a different, what is that? Which safe is that, Mike?
That's the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. It's Daniel Lev Shalom. He sent it to me on the mail.
Oh, very good.
Daniel Lev Shalom. He gifted to me the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch.
So look at Tuf Chav Beis. Look at Siman Tuf Chav Beis. 422.
It's in French. It's in English, mine.
Okay, look at 422. I'm not sure if it's the same
What's
style.
the chapter? You know, Rabbi, the chapter or no?
Chapter 420. Is there a chapter 422 or not?
No.
No. So these are the laws of Rosh Chodesh and Ya'aleh V'yavo.
Oh, the Lord of Rosh Chodesh?
Yes. And Ya'aleh V'yavo.
Regarde Hallel.
Look at Ya'aleh and see if they have something on the Ya'aleh V'yavo. Yeah. So I don't know if you have.
Rabbi, I have a bunch of yes. There is like 10 points about the Lord of Rosh Chodesh.
Okay, very good. So I'm in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch Yalkut Yosef, and by the way, we're saying a Chol Hamoed is a similar halachot as Rosh Chodesh regarding going back and so on and so forth. But Chol Hamoed is different. That if a guy forgot Ya'aleh V'yavo on Chol Hamoed, even at night of Chol Hamoed, and he finished Amidah, he would have to go ahead and repeat Amidah. Only by Rosh Chodesh at night we say you don't have to repeat Amidah. But by Rosh Chodesh at night, by Chol Hamoed, you would have to repeat the Amidah. And he says, now,
They say
I can't hear you, Mike. You're not coming out clear.
They said exactly what you said.
Okay, you want to read what they said? Let me hear what they said, Mike.
They can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you very clear. I want to hear what they say. We hear you very clearly. I want you to read. Let me hear what you're saying, Mike. Garon and Guadalupe and Michael Mashiach is listening to you, Michael. We don't hear you now. It says that the band is low. You have a mic Dahan. We hear
My connection is not amazing, Rabbi. Can you hear me?
Now I hear you. I missed you for a minute.
Okay, they say the law are as following for one who forgets to recite Ya'aleh V'yavo during Shachrit and Mincha. If one recalls the error prior to beginning Modim, one should recite Ya'aleh V'yavo then. One who recalled the error after Modim and did not yet recite the second.
Mike, I want to clarify that point. We didn't say that point, and I wanted to say this point. That if you catch yourself right after you say it would say, Baruch atah Hashem ha'machazir shchinato l'tzion, and you did not start the next bracha yet. You didn't start Modim. You just said ha'machazir shchinato l'tzion. Since you didn't start the next bracha, you could say Ya'aleh V'yavo Yaron at that point. Yaron, Guadalupe. If you said ha'machazir shchinato l'tzion, and you caught yourself right there, since you didn't begin the next bracha, you say Ya'aleh V'yavo at that point, and then you say Modim. But once you said the word modim, you started the next bracha, then you got to go back to
You
Ritzeh.
go back to Ritzeh.
You heard that, Mike? Clear?
Otherwise, if you didn't finish, yeah. Otherwise, if you didn't finish the bracha, you just go back to Elokeinu,
If you didn't finish the bracha
right?
of Ritzeh, meaning, let's say you said, you're in the middle of Ritzeh, you said, V'sechazena eineinu, you're supposed to say Yalav Yavo, and then you said, V'sechazena eineinu b'shufcha l'tzion, then you just say, then you go back and you say Yalav Yavo, and then you say V'sechazena eineinu, correct? That's what you would do in the middle of the bracha if you catch yourself in the middle of that bracha. Continue, Mike.
Okay, and then it says one who recalled the error after Modim and did not recite the second Yuli Ratzon. So now, so after it's the part from the second, from Modim to Yehu Ratzon Imrifi, I guess, right? That's the second portion.
He caught himself. He caught himself. Right. He goes back to Ritzeh. You hear that, Yaron? Yes.
So he got anywhere. So from what I understand, anywhere from Modim to the end of the Amidah to Yehu Ratzon Imrifi.
Exactly. That's exactly what we said, Mike.
Should return to the beginning of Ritzeh and continue praying from there.
You heard that, Yaron? Yaron, you heard that? Continue straight from your from there. Continue.
Next point, one who forgot to recite Ya'aleh V'Yavo and only recalled the error after completing the second Yuli Ratzon must repeat the Amidah from the beginning.
Right. Even though he didn't take the 3 steps back. Once he said the second Yuli Ratzon, it's over.
So that's a machloket, Rabbi. There's a rabbi that said the second Yeratzon.
But we're saying that once you said the second Yila Ratzonim Refi Ve'Gyon Libi Lefanach Hashem Suri V'Goli, that means that Amidah is over. At that point,
Rabbi,
yes, you have to go back to the beginning of the Midah. What?
I'm not a rabbi, but it should have been that after Elokai, you should repeat the Amidah, because since after Elokai will let you answer the Kaddish, so after Elokai it should be also considered the end of the Amidah. So
no, but you cannot answer everything. You can, right. You only can answer Yeshemeh Rabbah.
You can't answer everything. It's not everything.
No, amen. Only Yeshemeh Rabbah Mevarach. That's it. The first word, I think.
And then there's different opinions about what you can answer. What you can answer, by Ashkenazim, we would answer Amen Yeshmer Rabbah Barach L'Olam Maya. We would answer the Amen after Amen Yeshmer Rabbah. We would answer the Amen of Akel HaKadosh Shemei Tfilah. We would say Modem, just the 3 words Modem Anachnu Lach. Those are some of the things that we say. And I know by the Svardim, the Machloket between the Ben Ish Chai and other opinions exactly what you're able to answer. Maybe tomorrow we'll try to look up exactly the different opinions, what you're able to answer at that point. Okay, Mike? We'll try to remember to look up that. Continue. But Mike, that is like what your own answered you. That he answered very good. That not everything goes in Elokai Nitzah. Not everything is allowed. So therefore, it's enough considering you're still in the middle of
it's enough to consider that you're still in the bracha, because they don't give you all the permission to do whatever answers you want.
Right, still you're in the middle of the Amidah.
Chazak, Yaron from Guadeloupe, Chazak. And then we have one more point, Rabbi. One who is uncertain whether or not one recited Ya'aleh V'Yavo must repeat the Amidah. So if you don't know if you did, I guess.
Right, because if you're not sure if you said it or
so
not.
So, Rabbi, it's the Oraita?
It's not. That's a good point. It's not the Oraita. So your question is, since it's the Rabbanan to say it, why, if I have a Safek, do I have to repeat Amidah? That's Mike Don's question. Michael Mashiach, you heard Mike's question. It's a great question. Since we know Safek Rabbanan Lakel, you're lenient. So why is it, if I'm not sure if I said Ya'aleh V'Yavo, we say I repeat the Amidah? Why do I got to repeat it? Safek Rabbanan. Mike's question. I think the answer is like this, Mike. We have something called more like a chazakah. That most likely that since you don't say Ya'aleh V'Yavo every day, so I think that dictates to us that it's like a majority. If you're not sure, that most likely you forgot. So it's not considered a real stuff. It's not considered an equal suffix. That's what I would think. It's not considered, it's not something you do, like we say, if after 30 days, let's say with the question of in the summertime, right? Let's say, but if, let's say you're not sure if you said Baruch Aleinu, you said Baruchenu, right? So we say the first 30 days, you got to go back because the first 30 days, you usually do what you're accustomed to doing. But after 30 days, then you have a chazakah, you're used to it already. So I would think most probably that since the chazakah is every day, you don't say Yalav Yavo. So if you're not sure, so the chazakah says that you didn't do it. That's what I would think. Thank you so much for staying so long. You get big mitzvah. Thank you very much.
Rabbi, who's leaving?
Michael Mashiach.
Stay. Tell him to stay.
He wants to wish you a good day.
Rabbi, tell him
Make sure
40
your Wi-Fi is working.
Stay.
They don't want you to leave. They want you.
Have a blessed day, Mike.
Yes. So Mike, anything else you have over there that you want?
Michael.
Anything else, Mike, you wanted to share from over there?
Michael.
Yeah, Michael, I think he
Rabbi,
just
after
left.
that, it's talking about Hallel.
Very good.
After that, he was talking about Hami.
Yes, I hear you. Yes.
Can you hear me, Rabbi?
Yes. Yes, I hear you.
Okay, so after that, I didn't say the point in the beginning. It says in the beginning, it says prior to Arvit and Rosh Chodesh, and during Shachit after Shir Shel Yom, it is customary to receive the Psalm Barichi Nafshi. We didn't talk about that. Ya'aleh V'yavo is also inserted V'yavo. Okay, yeah. One who forgets to receive Ya'aleh V'yavo during the Arvit does not return to the beginning, even on the second night of Rosh Chodesh. So that's
Right.
that was that was the beginning of this point that I skipped because I went straight to the point that you were talking about. I don't know if Rabbi you want to know about Hallel.
Rabbi, I thought that was only the first night, the first Arvit. If you miss the Hallel, you don't do it again. I think the second night you have to redo the Arvit because you're already in the Rosh Chodesh for like a day already.
That's why the
Here
halacha says even
no.
the second night. You're right, Yaron. You asked a good question, but the halacha says even the second night you do not have to repeat the Amidah when it comes to Rosh Chodesh. But the Rosh Chodesh, even though you're asking a good question, why not? But I think the Mishnah Berurah, I think gives a reason for it. But you do not have to repeat the Amidah both the first night and both the second night. He says the Mishnah Berurah says.
Rabbi.
Yes.
We really need Yaron in this class.
I can't hear you, Mike.
Mike, I can't hear you.
You see that?
I'll tell you the answer to. I can't hear you clearly, Mike. To answer Yaron's question, the Chafetz Chaim answers your question, Yaron. Yaron asked a great question, Mike. He says, we said the reason why you do not repeat the Amidah by Arvit, if you forget Ya'aleh V'yavo, because they did not sanctify the Rosh Chodesh at night. They only made a Rosh Chodesh by day. They made the announcement by day. They didn't make an announcement at night. So Yaron says, okay, so if that's the case, so once you get up to the second night of Rosh Chodesh, so it was already Rosh Chodesh the day before. So therefore, now if you forgot the second night, why don't you repeat the Amidah? That's Yaron. Since it's already Rosh Chodesh. It's already been sanctified. So the Chafetz Chaim said, remember, why did you have 2 days Rosh Chodesh? It was only because of Safek. Really, only one day was supposed to be Rosh Chodesh. So even the day that's really, so even if you're going to count the next day Rosh Chodesh, that means really the night before wasn't Rosh Chodesh. It's not that there was ever a concept that there's supposed to be there's only one day of the month that's Rosh Chodesh. So the real day is only sanctified by day and not by night. So even
Wow,
the
that's
second night,
beautiful.
so even the second night, he said, if the first night, so really even if the second night was even if the second day is Rosh Chodesh, really the night before wasn't supposed to be Rosh Chodesh, wasn't sanctified. So so therefore,
Rabbi, they knew that day had to be Rosh Chodesh because they didn't see the night before. They knew the second night was going to be Rosh Chodesh.
but since they didn't officially proclaim it, since the official proclamation only came a day, so even though they knew therefore it's not, they didn't. Maybe they would keep it. Maybe they would treat it as Rosh Chodesh, but it wasn't actually officially proclaimed Rosh Chodesh. That's to make it official. Mike, you wanted to say something? Mike, I can't hear you.
No, Rabbi, all good. No, thank you.
Okay, I want to wish everyone a beautiful day. Zaku Baruch to everybody. Mike, thank you for
Baruch, Rabbi.
Yaron and everybody for coming and being on.
Yaron, thank you for joining, Yaron. Rabbi, I wanted to not the same
What, Rabbi?
What'd you say,
Yeah,
Mike?
Mike, when you're there.
Yes,
when Yaron is here, the class
it's a different class when Yaron is on the screen and he's asking
Rabbi,
great questions.
that's because of you.
Yaron, we need you to be on every day, Belina there. We need you.
Rabbi, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Rabbi,
Have
thank
a
you,
beautiful
Mike.
day.
Thank you so much. Have a
Great
great day.
Great day.
Bye,
You too.
bye, everyone. Bye, Rabbi.
Bye-bye,
Thank you.
everybody. You too. Bye-bye.